Okay, welcome back to another Blender lesson. This is lesson number 8. This is a bit more advanced than the previous lesson. We're going to dive straight in because there is a lot to cover. We are going to build a black chandelier. Now, first things first, let's bring in a cylinder. We will need to decrease the vertices down to say 8. Let's just bring that up 1 meter. And scale on the z-axis and just scale it down to 0.3. Go into edit mode, let's grab the top face and GZ, pull it up to 6 meters. For now, we are going to go into the modifiers tab, add a modifier, generate a subdivision surface. Going to increase the levels of viewport for now. We will probably decrease that later on. So Control R. I'm going to put in 2 edge loops and leave them there. Actually, yeah, I'll leave them there for now. I'm going to select the bottom face and the top face and press Shift E and then press 1. That just sharpens it out. So we still have our cylinder and we'll also have we're going to be adding some edge loops to create the centerpiece of the chandelier. So, starting from the top, let's add in 3 edge loops and let's create a sort of like a bulge at the top here. Does look a bit smaller, that's not a problem. What we can do is we can add in edge loops here and then select here, press Alt S and we can increase that like so, say 1.4. Let's just go over to my add-ons and press N for screen keys, turn those on. Wasn't sure if that was on. Oh, it was blending into the background. Never mind. Okay, so let's just do this going down. We're going to just create some bobbly bits. Alt S. Let's just do a big one here. Say at 1.4. Keep the same measurements to the top one. Going down. That way we can control the sizes. So I'm just adding in some random loop cuts here. Again, we could say this time we can grab these. We can press I, bring those in to 0.15, and we could just press S to scale instead of Alt S. And then what I would do is I'll probably do the same thing again, maybe about here. I'm going to select these and just scale. Actually, let's go back. When we scale this up, let's scale it 1.6 or 7. Let's go 1.7 and then add in 3 edge loops here. Actually, 2 edge loops here. And then just scale it up 1.7. Okay, just sticking in some random edge loops. Just literally pressing Alt S. Go 1.4 again. We can do the same here. Alt S. We can go 1.4 and just create some kind of centerpiece chandelier. Probably could do one more time just here. So Alt S. Let's actually select. I'm just going to press 2 there. Press Alt S and do that like so. 1.4. There you go. Okay. So now we have a funky chandelier centerpiece. We can right click and shade smooth. We will change the level of viewports because this can be fairly high poly. At the top, we could create the little bowl that sits on the top. We can absolutely do that. So I'm actually going to make a separate object. I'm going to press Shift D on the top face, right click and separate selection. I'm going to select that selection in the hierarchy, and oops, I'm going to just go into object mode, reset transforms, and then set origin to geometry. So you can just scale that out. So 1.4, let's go 1.8, that'll be okay. We have, I'm going to go back to the other object and actually delete that top face. And coming back to the cylinder, we do have subdivision surface on this one we've just separated. I will press Shift S in edit mode and -1 just to remove the sharps around the edges, like so. I'm going to press E for extrude. So I'm going to extrude to 0.3. Press I to create an inset. It's 0.05. And then I'm going to press E and I'm going to push that down to -0.25. I can then press Shift E, press 1 to sharpen the bottom edges like so. We do have some strange overlap in there going underneath. That's okay, because what we can do is we can press Control R, we can stick an edge loop around here, say 0.6. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to now just select all these edges, and then I'm going to select, checker deselect. So we've got 4. I'm going to press G, Z, and just bring those up. So 0.2. Press Shift E, and then increase the sharpness to 1. And then I can do that, actually I could do that with all of these side bits. Shift E, press 1. There might be a slight bit of tearing, that is because the geometry is trying to fold over with the other edges. But that's okay, because what we're going to do, we're just going to go back. If we do these two edge loops and press Shift E, and now if we select all these and press Shift E and press 1, we can select, say, these 4. GZ, can bring that up, say 0.15, and then we could just create like a little bit of just a little bit of a top piece there, without overdoing it with the geometry. I think that's fine for now. Okay, I'm going to select this bottom face, put the 3D cursor there, Shift S, and then bring in a plane. Let's bring in a plane. We'll bring that slightly down. I just want it, see, well, let's bring it up a bit. Let's just bring it so we can just see how big we can scale this up. So we scale it about there. Let's go to edit mode. Let's go to edge loops. Let is put in 4 edge loops that way, 4 edge loops in that way. All we want to do actually at this point is just have these 2. So I'm just going to select these 2, separate, and I'm going to delete the rest of the plane. Now I'm going to use a little trick and press T to bring up my side panel. We're going to use a interesting tool called spin. So what this does is, we've got the origin point in the center there. Oops. So Shift S, put this 3D cursor there. I can select this in edit mode. I click on the spin icon down here, and then I'll change the axes up here to Y. I can now adjust and make a nice arced shape. If I hold Control, I've got different I can snap that to the other side, like so. We can press X to remove that face, so there's just one face there. We select all, press M, merge. Should just merge that vertices together. Now, what we can do is, it's a bit too big, but that's alright. We'll just go to subdivide, go to subdivision. Oops, let's see, that's a bit funky on that end. All we've got to do is, I thought I just merged the vertices. Okay, let's just go back. I don't know why that was doing that. I'm just going to delete that face and just keep this one face here. Let's just go over, keep that face there so I can do a full 90 degrees. Oops. Yeah, that should hold control. I believe that's 90 degrees. Yeah, that looks like it. Okay. Now if I add the subdivision surface, there we go, that's better. Okay, we'll just leave it on 1 point. We can literally S and scale this in edit mode, or Alt S, make it slightly smaller by pressing Alt S minus 0.1. That looks good to me. We can select the two bottom faces actually, and just press E to extrude, and they'll go straight down. We'll go 0.25, and then press Shift E and press 1 to sharpen those edges. So now we can like just create this like little handle, as you can see, where the chain links go in. Right click, shade smooth. We can confirm the subdivision surface modifier, and we can edit the topology later on. But for now, let's bring that slightly down. And I also want to bring all of these down as well. So minus 0.1, 2. There we go. I feel like I might change this as well later on. What I'm going to do is going to go up to here, individual origins. I'm just going to scale, and I'm going to scale these down. I think it's going to still have some strange ripping. Okay, I'm just going to go back and go back to medium point for pivot point. Just press scale on the 0 on the Z and then 0. I'm just going to reselect these with Shift E minus 1. And I think just for now, to keep it nice and simple, I'm just going to leave it like that. We can add in the little details later on. Got a lot to cover, so we have quite some, we don't have much time to do this. So at the bottom, let's grab these faces here. I'm going to press Alt E, and I'm going to extrude along normals. So this is going to be the bottom of the chandelier. So I'm going to press 5. I'm going to press Shift R. I'm going to stick in an edge loop here. Minus 0.7. Then I'm going to select these and press E and bring these up. Slightly different to what I've just done, but that's okay. Actually, I'm going to bring those down slightly. Minus 0.2. Okay. Right, if I remove this edge loop, that's okay. We'll need that bottom piece. Okay, and now what we can do is, if I just turn this off for a second, I'm going to put, yeah, I'm going to put the cursor here. Oh, I'm going to just turn the spin off, just put back to box select, and I'm going to bring in a Bezier curve. We're going to do the curvature for one of the lights. We're going to bring in a mesh, no sorry, a curve. We're going to bring in a Bezier curve. Yeah, don't worry about the chandelier looks all funky, that's just because we've turned it off. We can just turn it back on now. So here's the Bezier curve. We're going to just rotate that on the z-axis minus 45 and just bring that forwards. It's about 1 meter. That'll be on the cursor. I'm going to go orthographic view now, and I'm just going to select the picture in the background and just move it over slightly, because now I'm going to grab this Bezier curve. I'm going to put a minus 90 degrees actually on that. I'm going to bring this up to roughly somewhere about here, and then I'm going to press E to extrude, and I'm going to bring the next one somewhere about here, yeah, about here, and then press E again, and let's place this somewhere about here, and then I'm going to rotate this minus 90 degrees. I'm going to also scale this up slightly, just to make, actually I'm going to select this one and this one, and right click and subdivide. It's going to create an extra handle in the middle, and I want this one to be, I want the top to be more straight. So I'm going to actually put that there. Just going to go back. Yeah, I'm just going to put that somewhere about there and just rotate that. I don't know what the rotation would be since I subdivided it and added it in the middle. So that's fine. We can guess something like that. Something like that would be alright. Excuse me. I wonder if I can scale on that along the x-axis and press 0. Oh, you can absolutely do that. Okay, that's good. Yep, scale x 0. That's good. And keep that nice and straight. We can just grab and bend that slightly. And we could also scale that up as well. Move over a little bit. And we could also move this over a bit. There you go. So what we could also do now, it does look like it might be a little bit too far out. That's not a problem. I'm going to select all the curve and the handles, make this one my main select. I'm going to make sure I go to active element, and I'm just going to press S to scale. I'm just going to scale, but press Shift Z so it doesn't change on the Z axis. So I'm just going to pull that in ever so slightly, say 0.85. Or just scale it in Shift Z, 0.8, yeah, 0.8. Okay, that's fine, I think. Now, we can just modify that slightly. We can make that straight as we create it. And this handle, I want a bit more of a curve. Kind of want a bit more of a curve there as well. Actually, that's actually slightly better. Actually, I think that's a bit better. Right, okay, when you're happy with that, don't forget to save. Now we need to turn this into a mesh. So let's go to our data properties tab, go down to geometry, and we're just going to add some depth, some mesh to the curve. I think that's okay for now. Resolution, let's drop that all the way down, otherwise it's going to be really high poly. Now, from a distance, it's going to be high up on the ceiling. You can't really tell, but it's actually a cube shape. If I zoom in, or zoom right in, it's basically cubed. And it's actually shade smooth as well. Alright, I'm going to keep it like that, just to keep the geometry down. And I'm just going to right click, convert to mesh. And then, as you can see, if I go into edit mode, we have, yeah, we have a bunch of geometry now curved. Now, what we can do is, for the top bit here, we can just scale Z0. Actually, we'll just Control undo, go to medium point. We won't use the active element. Scale Z0, just make that completely flat at the top. And what else we could also do is, if we selected all of these edges and then go to select, select edge loops, Control X to dissolve, we can just make sure that is straight now and put in a few less edge loops. I think that'll be alright. There you go, that's much better. Because then that way, yeah, actually, before I add those in, let's just do SZ0. There you go, that just moved then, that's good. Right, now we will add those in, so about 4. There you go. Keep it straight as it goes up. Okay, right, let's make the little bed with the light that goes on the top. So I'm going to fill that in and then separate. Actually, better idea. I'm going to delete that actually. Let's put the 3D cursor on the top there. Shift A, we'll go over to mesh. Go to circles, and I'm going to go to vertex, and I'm going to go over up to yeah, let's go to faces and then do grid fill. You can adjust the grid fill down here at the bottom if you wish. Let's just leave it at 5. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to turn on subdivision surface modifier. It's going to generate some high topology, but we will absolutely change that later on. We're going to now extrude that up, say 0.2. And then what I'm going to do is going to delete the top face, reselect the top edge loop, and just press F to face fill, and then press I to inset a circle going around 0.1. I think that'll be alright. And then what we could do is just press, we can extrude and push that down, say minus 0.15, without that going or clipping through the bottom, which, looking at that, you can use X-ray, but just quickly stick your head in there. Yeah, use the camera to put your head in and have a look. That's not a problem. We can again turn the subdivision surface modifier off. Press E. I'm going to bring that in like so, 0.5, and then just press E to extrude. Bring that up a bit, so 0.3. Again, I bring that in 0.09, and then I'm going to right click, separate that center piece, and then I'm going to click on this and then just extrude up. This is going to be the light bulb. That's a big light bulb. I'm going to select these edge loops going around because that's quite a lot. I'm going to go checker deselect, and then I'm going to go to Control X to, yep, just to remove those edges. I'm going to do it again. Still think it's a bit too high. Yeah, that's fine. I'm going to push that down like so. I'm going to turn, I think subdivision surface is on this, as I can see. That's fine, that's brilliant. I'm going to stick in 2 edge loops like so, and press Alt S, and bring that out like so. actually still, as you scale that up with Alt-S, it gives a really nice shape for a light bulb. And I'll just bring that down like so. Right click, shade smooth. Fantastic. I just realised I didn't have this turned on. I did turn this on. I don't think we'll need this on this object at all. That looks good enough without it. And it's less poly, so that's pretty good. Just going to select this, delete them. Select the edge loop, press F to fill. And then I'm just going to mark sharp for now. If I turn this back on, yeah, we're going to have some behavior here as it's trying to curve. That's absolutely fine. I'm just going to select this bottom edge loop, turn it back on, Shift E, press 1. That'll just make it sharp, like so. I'm going to add in an edge loop and pull that up, minus 0.7. I am actually going to change the geometry going around. I know I grid filled this earlier. I was just thinking now, possibly in this case, probably not a good idea because we are using a lot, using too much geometry. So I'm going to just remove that and just select the edge loop and press F to fill. Press Shift E and press 1, and I'm just going to make that flat like that for now. We can shade smooth. I didn't have a shade smooth before. I will actually now select going all the way around like so. Select, checker deselect, and then select going over to edge loops. That will now select all the edge loops. We can press Control X. And then I think let's do it again and see what happens. Select, checker deselect, select, select edge loops, Control X. Yeah. And then we're going to bring down the viewport so it's not too high poly. Okay, I think that was a bit too much just for something small. And again, in fact, if we turn this off, you could literally indeed don't need any subdivision surface modifier. You can press Shift E -1, remove the markings, but we can always add in the sharps like so. Oops, I'm going to stick another one in there. Okay, so that's going from high poly to low poly. Creating it, you can see how smooth it was to then to low poly, and now you can see in your bottom right corner 50 faces, because we will be duplicating this 7 more times. So that looks great for now. We can as well, what we could do is at this point we could select every other edge, press GZ, bring it up, give it some fancy pattern. That's what we tried to do at the top. I think without the subdivision surface turned on, this will probably look better. Yep, just like so. And of course, you can always add in more edge loops if you want to make it look. You can put in each edge loop around the center, and then what you could do here, checker deselect, and then just GZ, bring that up 0.3 or 2, 0.3, that'll do. Yeah, you can give a bit of a, you can press Control B maybe to bevel the tops. You can press C so you don't clip into each other. And I think this would be a good way to make that pattern on the top, on the chandelier. And then you can just go over and just make sure your quads, okay, we have some tries. That's okay actually. You can go around and delete these edges here. It's still a quad, but there is an end goal on this side. We can always modify that and change that later on, but for now, let's just leave that in. And of course, the sharps just need reapplying. And sometimes you'll have to select Alt-N and then reset vectors. And then you've got to check the normals, make sure they're flipped in the correct direction. Which, if they're red, that means they're the wrong way around. That's fine, it's all blue. I believe this is changing in the next version of Blender. So let's go to... So for now, that's good, I like that. This bottom, I'm just going to press I to insert, and then I'm just going to bring that in, say 0.5, and then just press GZ and then pull that down to minus 0.3, just to then get some angle on that so it don't look too flat. Yeah, we'll probably will amend or possibly remove these edge loops because it is tearing into the geometry, and I don't like the end guns in my creations, nor tries. They only export, when you export it as an FBX, they turn into tries. But keeping it a nice quad topology in Blender, it helps a lot with also UV unwrapping and adding textures. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go back up here. Just going to press Shift E, press 1, flatten that down. We're going to add the 3D cursor to here, and we're going to bring in another Bezier. So curve, Bezier, go into edit mode, select this one, let's just minus 45, select it all, GX, let's move that along just 1 meter, that should then just sit in the 3D cursor. Now we want that to rotate, and that one, we're actually going to put that one over here. We're going to make a cable. I didn't think that was straight, but that's fine. What chandelier is straight anyway? I'm just going to press, go up here to snapping tool and edge snap. Press GZ, just snap to that edge, and then GX, and again just snap it to that edge. So it is straight from that edge, from the Bezier curve. So it's easier to now edit. So clicking both the handles, right click, subdivide, and probably just going to do one subdivide. I'm going to just bring this down like so. I'm going to rotate this, rotate that probably on a 45-degree angle. Can bring that handle out like so, and the same again. Let's just move this handle. I think that's okay actually. Yes. Right. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this Bezier, we're going to make two versions. This is the arm, so I'll just call that the Chand arm. And this is going to be Bezier curve. Actually, just leave it as Bezier curve. And then I'm going to do a Shift D, and we're going to create a second one, and we're just going to call this one the Bezier curve mesh. But I'm just going to hide that one for now. I do have a image to bring in. I'm going to press Shift A, Mesh, Plane, rotate rotate on the x-axis 90 degrees. We're going to add an image to this plane. I'm going to open up the UV editor. So UV editor and shader editor. Okay, I'm going to press Ctrl T because I've got Node Wrangler installed. It's a free add-on in Blender. Open. I've just forgotten where I've put them. Here they are. So I'm going to open, get them from here. Let's get that one. I want to be dangling down. Let's say this one. I'm going to go up here to my viewport. I'm going to join the alpha to the alpha. As it's got no background on, it should just be like so. I'll just call this Gem1. And we want to also go to subdivisions, not subdivision, sorry. We want to add a modifier, a solidify. Because unless you're uploading this into a program that renders both sides of the image, I'm going to just increase that by 1. There you go. So you can see both sides. And it's going to be just 2 planes. This will help reduce the topology massively just using a transparent image. Because you can create diamonds and put, I don't know, 5 or 6 along here, but when you duplicate that 7 more times, it can be a lot of topology. So I'm going to put this into the center. I'm going to just press hide on the center chandelier for now. Open up N, press N to open up my side panel, reset the location, and then Control A and reset transforms on this. I'm going to confirm the solidify modifier. Actually, go back to solidify modifier. We don't want the edges. Just take fill off. There you go. And then apply it. We don't want the no fill going around the center. Okay. Now just press Control A and reset transforms on that. Now this curve, what we're going to do is we're going to use an array and put it along this curve. Now Blender is a bit funny sometimes when it comes to using the array modifier and then using the curve modifier. So the best way to avoid this, I think, is just to right click, convert to mesh, and then right click and convert to curve. So it's gone back to curve, but it's not a Bezier curve. And then I'm going to press reset transforms and make sure the origin point is back to the center of the origin of the world. Then I'm going to go over to modifier. I'm going to select the gem. We're going to add modifier, generate array. Now we want the array to fit curve. Use the eyedropper to select the Bezier curve. And then we want to click add modifier. And we want to go deform and add curve. And then the same again, click the dropper and click the curve. As you can see, we've got all our little gems now attached to the curve that we have. If you leave this as a Bezier curve, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but to avoid that, you can just convert to mesh, then convert to curve. It's very handy sometimes. And again, so let's go back to our factor X here, so we can increase and decrease how many we want to see along the curve. So if I put in 2, as you can see, it does kind of stretch, but it's not too much of an issue at the moment. I'm just going to scale that down slightly. I don't want to see too many. Oops, don't want to have too many, so let's just have 3. No, 3 is okay. And then what I'm going to do is, whilst it's an object mode, press GX. You can actually slide them along to the way you like them. So I'm just going to do it to there. Right, then I'm just going to confirm the modifiers, confirm array, then confirm the curve. Go into edit mode. I'm going to delete these faces here and just keep these ones right there. Now this is the curve, so I'm just going to call this the curve for array. I'm going to leave that there and I'm just going to hide it for now. And I'm just bring back the one that's a Bezier, that's a mesh. Now, sorry, it's just a Bezier curve. And I'm just going to turn this one. No, I've done it the wrong way around. I'm going to leave this one as a backup. That should be U for backup on the end of the name. Hide it. And then I'm just going to use this curve and turn it into a mesh. Convert to mesh. And then, no, sorry, done it again. I'm getting it right in the pickle at the moment. I'm going to Control Z, go back to curve, and then go back to geometry. And we're actually going to add depth geometry to the curve. Not too much though, we don't want too much, and we certainly don't want any resolution on. Now, that's fine, because we're going to make this black. We can, well, we could actually select these, since they're all in a straight line. We could scale on the X, on the Y. If we scale on the Y, we could actually separate it slightly so it is in between. But from a distance, you're not really going to notice this much. And we're going to keep it nice and thin like that. And we're going to turn that to like a black sort of thread, sort of like a black cable. Okay. So just for decoration purposes, let's just make a new color. Let's just turn that black. Let's just turn to something like that. And then we're just going to right click, convert to mesh. Okay. I'm going to shade smooth. Yeah, that's okay. Should be pretty low poly as well. 96 faces. That's not too bad at all for something that's quite curvy. Okay, so there we have it. We have our little diamonds on our strand, and we're going to be repeating this process for the bits underneath. So I'm just going to show back. Let's bring back the main chandelier point. I do want to make sure this is the origin point is underneath, like so. Because we're going to be mirroring and duplicating this later on. I have noticed actually that is coming away, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to scale this up like so. 1.2. There you go. Have that attached like so. Might need to do this one as well. No. Let's just press Control B on this. Let's add some nice curvature, because I will most likely shade smooth. Oh, should remove these sharps. There you go, that's better. I will definitely edit this in a bit. If I scale that out, if I scale these bits out, and this maybe, no, what we could do is scale that down. 0.05, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. That's alright. So that's looks like it's attached anyway. Okay, good. So, right, next, what we're going to do is we're just going to connect these together. Join. We could just add a bit of color to the objects. So we have the light. So we'll just call this bulb. I'm going to just press L on this, edge select the whole mesh, assign the bulb. We could stick a mission on this if we wanted to. Come down to emission, say put 10. Don't want no roughness or metallic. We can select this piece and just type in black metal. So we could just have that black. Let's assign it, have metallic and put the roughness down. And then probably the same again on this piece here. We can just assign that. So something like that. Just remove that material, it's not being used. Now what we can do is, if we like the way that looks so far, we can join these to this. So like so. Let's put the 3D cursor. Let's put this to reset transforms. What we're going to do from this point is we're going to now I was going to mirror this, but actually I want to bring in, let's bring in some more curvatures and edges. So we're going down underneath here. So it's connecting from under here to about here. Sort of something similar to what we've done up the top there. Okay, so let's grab this from here. Press Shift A. Let's bring in a Bezier again. Edit mode. Let's rotate that -45. Select all. GX. Move it along 1 meter. Let's go to orthographic mode. What I'm doing, by the way, when I go to orthographic, you can use the numpad, or you can just hold Alt and middle mouse button. Just press middle mouse. You just click the middle mouse button down. So let's rotate this, say 45 degrees. And then this one, let's attach this underneath. Okay, let's see where we can attach that to. Let's just go back to our other shader port. Right, okay. If we go back to vertex snapping, press G, just hold Control and snap that like so. Okay, so we will now then rotate this also to -45 degrees. Select them both. Right click and subdivide. Let's bring in this one and let's say loop. It's about something like that. So on this one, I might actually, if I bring that a bit more across, I might snap this. Let's go another -45. Let's snap this to somewhere up here. Yeah, that'll be alright. So let's just snap that to there for now. And let's just keep that straight. So that scales at 0 to keep it on the z-axis. Nice and straight. Don't want it to be too dangly down. Let's I'll just say just about there. Yeah, that's fine. Yes, I like that either side. I'm actually going to press GZ and move that up slightly. So 0.1. Just so I know it's inside the object that this time, and it's the same with this one. I just rotate that 45 degrees. And GZ, bring that up 0.1. There you go. So I won't have that issue from connecting like I did last time. So same again, we're going to duplicate this and create a backup. So Shift D, and we'll just call this one backup, and then hide the backup. And this one, we are going to Control A, reset transforms, right click, and convert to curve. When we convert to curve, as you can see, nothing happens. It's still a bezier. So we'll right click, convert to mesh. Now it's gone to a mesh, because you can see all the verts and the edges. And then we'll right click and convert to curve. And now it's a different type of curve, which is fine. Now, same again, let's bring in our plane, mesh plane. Let's hide the centerpiece again. Let's rotate that on the X, oops, rotate X 90 degrees, scale that down. Let's just put that to the center. Same again, new material, we'll go to our materials so we can see. Again, Control T, Node Wrangler, open. It keeps on going, taking me back there. Not to worry, let's go here. Let's use this diamond next. And then we'll drag the alpha to the alpha. And don't worry, if we want to it show more, we can just go onto our UV editor and just make it look bigger. Oops. Just do that along the x-axis. So I just select the UV editor, as you can see, and I scaled it in. That's absolutely fine. Now let's go to our modifier, add modifier, generate solidifier, turn the fill off, put the offset to 0, and I just want to go up one. Again, I might need to increase it like I did with the top, just so the wire, you don't see the wire over the top. That's okay for now. I'm just going to confirm that, and then reset transforms. And same again, reset transforms on the curve. So on the little diamond, let's let's position this upside down. So let's rotate that on the rotate on the y-axis 180, and we're going to put the. I was thinking of putting the origin point on the bottom. But first, before we do that, before we put it on the bottom, let's just put in an edge loop here. And should have done this before, really, but that's okay. We'll just put an edge loop on both the sides here. But then I'm just going to remove the faces like so. Okay, so because it's not in the center, I'm just going to put two vertices in here, put the 3D cursor in the center. I'll just dissolve these. So it's a little bit off center, the image, but that's fine. Set origin to 3D cursor, and then put that to the location, and then reset transforms again. Okay, so I'm going to have it dangling down like so. So let's press N to remove that. Let's let's scale that down, say about 0.5, and just reset all transforms again, and just reset transforms on the curve. Then we'll click on the diamond. Let's add generate an array. Then we go over to fit curve on the fit type. Use to put the eyedropper. Click on the Bezier curve, which should just be a normal curve. Sometimes it works with a Bezier curve, but sometimes it doesn't. Blender is a bit funny sometimes. So let's go add modifier, generate deform, go to deform curve, and then again click on the eyedropper and click on the curve. So now it should look like this on the in a row. Let's increase the factor. We had about, how many up here did we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we got 6, 7, 8. Let's add one more. There you go. And we're going to remove that one. So I'm going to press GX and I'm just going to move that along slightly. And let's, if we bring back this one, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. When you like it, all you got to do is apply the modifier. So we'll apply the array, and then we'll apply the curve. And then what we'll do is select this curve, and we can come down here to data properties and increase the depth of the curve. We'll increase it only to the same as we have above, which is just 0.01, I believe. Maybe, yeah, it was. And the resolution, let's bring it all the way down to 0. Keep it nice low poly. Then we'll just right click and convert to mesh. Go onto our materials, add a material, and we'll call this, yeah, it's just the black, that's right. So we'll just click on that, click the drop down, click on the black, and that should be okay. I think that's the same size. Looks a little thinner. So we'll go back and just up it actually, just to 0.02. Let's just increase that to 0.02. That's better actually. And then we'll just right click, convert to mesh, and then we'll just add black material to it. Okay, so we'll just right click and shade smooth, and then we're just going to remove these faces at the end there. Okay, right, so now we've done that, let's join these together. So if we join them together like so, let's also, okay, that's black metal. Let's create a new one, we'll call that black metal as well. And the same with the top piece here. Let's give a bit of color to these objects. So let's see what this looks like for now. Let's add a mirror modifier. So go to our modifiers, go to generate, mirror. Okay, looks good. I'm going to rotate that. I'm going to duplicate it and then rotate it on the z-axis 90 degrees. And then I'm going to select both of them and then again Shift D, right click to cancel, rotate on the Z, say 45 degrees. And there we have it. We have a lovely chandelier. We can make a few minor adjustments. We can go back, make some adjustments, and then mirror and duplicate them again. We can add a fancy piece at the bottom. We can totally do that. So if we grab the bottom there, I'm going to extrude down. So about, let's say about, say extrude about 0.5. And if I scale out, so about 3, and extrude down, say 0.3. and then press I to inset, bring that in, so 0.15. Let's just hit back over to our viewport shader. I'm just going to gonna extrude that back in. So minus 0.25 should be okay. Then if we select this edge loop and just scale that up a bit, and then this inside edge loop, just gonna drag that down a little bit and get a different kind of shape. Let's just turn the subdivision surface modifier off for a second. I'm just going to select this inside of this bit and just mark sharp. And yeah, I think that's okay. Okay, if we just turn that back on, we can make some adjustments to that later. Could always press I to insert and E to extrude, and then put an edge loop in like so. Put some decorative detail on the bottom, and I think we're done pretty much. So I made one with actually like real diamonds, 3D diamonds on there, and the topology did come to something like 30,000 faces, which would be like roughly 60,000 tries, which is quite high. But you would only normally have one in your project normally. However, this is also another good way to have like images, and you could also rotate the images 90 degrees and have them facing as well the other way. So yes, okay, that concludes this lesson. Thank you for watching. This was lesson number 9 that I do every Monday. Feel free to join my Discord, leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.